This instructional video will walk through the process of applying as an Iowa EMS student utilizing the Amanda portal. There are two ways to get to the Amanda. One is through a link from the EMS section of the Bureau of Emergency and Trauma Services webpage at the address that you see here on the screen. Or another way is you can directly get to the home screen by following the email address or the webpage address that you see also on the screen. Either one of these links will take you to the same screen, and this is referred to as the home screen for the Iowa Department of Public Health regulatory programs. Currently, we have about 16 different programs that utilizes this same platform. So again, we want to make sure that what we're going to focus in on will be those procedures to apply as an Iowa EMS student. So from this page here, if you have previously used or previously have had an ANA account, maybe in the past that you had been an Iowa EMS provider and you had gone online and had reviewed your EMS certification or thing, you would use the sign-in option here for current ANA users. If you've never had an ANA account, then you would select the new user registration. Either way will take you to this screen here. And in this screen, if you had been a previous ANA user, you would provide the information here for your account ID and for your password. Once you have that in, you would select sign in. If you're successful, it will take you to a page that we'll talk about here in a second. If you are unsuccessful because maybe you'd forgotten your password or forgotten your ID, you can select up in the upper right-hand portion of the screen. There's two areas there. You can click on that, and that'll provide you detailed information on how to retrieve a forgotten password or forgotten ID. If you've not held an ANA account in the past, then what you do is select this create an account, and then that will once again provide you very detailed information on how to create a new account. Now, as we talk about creating a new account, there's just a few cautions here that we want to remind you about. First of all, the ANA, or its authorization and authentication account, it's the same account system that's used by a lot of different state agencies. So if you've done business with the state previously, maybe as a business or applied for loans or stuff like that, you probably already have an ANA account. Now, again, detailed instructions can be found at the top of the login page that we saw for a forgotten password or ID, or for creating a new account. When you create a new account, you have to have a valid email address, and you need to have this before you begin this two-step process of creating an ANA account. Once you create your, user ID, ID name and password, you have to follow the standards that's established on the screen for that. And then after successful creation of your username and password, an email message will be sent to the listed email address for completing the requirements. So the second portion of this process. Now, when you sit down for the second portion of the requirements, they have to be completed in one setting, and it usually takes 10 minutes or less for that for you to complete those processes. But again, it must be done in one setting, or you'll be locked out. Once you've completed the process of creating a user ID name and a password, secure that information for future use. Again, each time that you deal with this with one of the state agencies, it would be the same user ID and password. So if you say that after a few attempts you get locked out of your ANA account, unfortunately the Bureau of Emergency and Trauma Services is unable to assist in the retrieval or resetting of your forgotten user ID or password. You have to follow and try all the provided instructions from the login screen that we discussed earlier. And then if you're still unable to retrieve that, we would suggest that you contact the Department of Administrative Services Office of the Chief Information Officer. You can do that by telephone at either one of the numbers that you see here on the screen. And when you do call them, please make sure that you are sitting at a computer that has internet access and the email access for the email address that you're using when you call for assistance. And once we get into the, once you successfully complete your ANA login, if you were a new individual that, or it's trying to make sure or to merge some previous records, you may see this screen here initially. The screen would only occur once, and if you do see it, please provide the request information for your Social Security number and your date of birth. Once you have that filled in, please go ahead and select the Continue button. From there, it's going to take you into what's known as a, if you've never registered with the Bureau of Emergency Trauma Services before for an Iowa EMS certification, it's going to take you to this thing. It's called a web registration page. And it will have some pre-populated information on it, as you see in the center here. It'll have your email address, it'll have an encrypted Social Security, and then your date of birth. Notice the other red asterisk areas there. Please make sure that you fill in the information as you would wish it to appear on your profile. So all the areas with the red asterisk, please make sure that you complete. Once that's completed, you would go ahead and select Continue. Now, if you've once you have that information filled in, or if you had previously been an Iowa EMS provider, it will come up with this information here. On this page here, a couple things to talk about, and this is called My Profile Page. One of the things that you want to also write down and keep track of, and it's called your PIN number. Over on the right-hand section, you'll see it. It's a personal identification number. This ensures that if we utilize this number when you make contact with the Bureau and everything, if you use this number, that ensures us that we're getting to the correct individual. We have the right records. So just another number that you want to file away for future use. Again, please verify that all the information that you have provided, at least at a minimum those with the red asterisks, is correct and updated. You will when you log into Amanda in the future, you will always come to your profile page first, and this gives you an opportunity to ensure to review and update any information as needed. So once we have this information, we confirm this information, we're going to go ahead and select Continue. And now it's going to take you to a page to sign up as an Iowa EMS student. Again, if you've not previously held an Iowa EMS certification, the page will be blank here. And this is again called My Program Page. But in the center, you see that there's no information there indicating that you had previously not held an Iowa EMS certification. From this page, you would go over to the left-hand side and select Apply for a Program. Now, if you have previously held an Iowa EMS certification, let's say that maybe you're an AEMT and you're applying for a paramedic program, you will see your information for your active or previous certifications here listed in the center of the screen. The application process will still be the same regardless of whether you had previously held an Iowa EMS certification or had not held one. So again, select the Apply for a Program. Once you do that, it's going to come into an application for a program page. On here, we have two areas that we're going to focus on, as you can see here in the center, the program and program details. If you notice on the right-hand side of the box, that there's a drop-down menu associated with each one of those. So we're going to first initially look at the program. When you select that, what we want you to do is go in and select the EMS provider under the program. And then under the program details, select EMS student. Once you have both of those selected, please go to the right and select the Continue button. From there, it's going to ask you if you really want to apply for this program. You would select yes or okay. Now it's going to take you into the application form, online form by itself. Again, you can ensure that this is the correct applicant, that is this is your application file. Your name will appear there under the applicant. We have three areas that we're going to focus in on this one, and that's going to be affirmation, personal information, and course detail. Again, notice to the left-hand side of each one of the titles, there's a caret, which means that there's a drop-down information required in there. So we're going to drop down and we're going to select the affirmation. Excuse me, one more thing is you'll also see on the right-hand section, there's an area for add a new attachment, and we'll discuss that here in the next screen. So we're going to select affirmation and drop that down. And what we have here is we have a series of questions that will need to be answered by you, either yes or no. If you have to answer yes to one or more of the affirmation questions, you must provide some detailed information in the corresponding text box just below your answer. And then, and some of them where it may require some documentation, you also have the ability to attach any of the required documents by following the instructions that we saw on the previous page. Once you have that completed, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to check on, we're going to collapse that and then expand the one for personal information. Please select the gender that is appropriate. From there, we'll collapse that, and now we'll go to course detail. This is a section where you select the level of program that you're going to be taking, either as an AEMT, an EMR, an EMT, or a paramedic. Once you've completed the information for those three sections, again, if necessary, this is where you can find the information on how to add an attachment if needed. But if you have the information supplied in all three of those areas, then we go ahead and select continue. At this point, it's going to ask if you really want to submit your application form. Once you are comfortable with that, go ahead and select OK. It's going to take you to what's known as the terms and condition page. On this page here, please read the statement in there. It's the statement by selecting that you agree with the terms and condition. It's stating that you are submitting truthful and accurate information to the Bureau. Once you have selected the, put a check mark in the box, then select continue. At that point, it will take you to the screen here, and there's no fees that's associated with the application process to be an Iowa EMS student here. So at this point, you would go ahead and select sign off, and you've completed the application process to be an Iowa EMS student. Again, for the EMR, the EMT, the AEMT, or the paramedic level. If you have any additional questions regarding Amanda, please feel free to contact our help desk either by telephone or by the email address that you see here. Thank you for your time.